Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm bringing you my TBR, my to be read pile for the Irish Readathon 2021. If you don't know what the Irish Readathon is, I mean, where have you been? You must be new here, welcome, come on in. While you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But the Irish Readathon is a month of reading throughout the entirety of March where myself and my co-hosts Aoife and Elaine, I will leave their channels linked down below in the description, where we encourage you to read more Irish books than you normally would. So if you read just one Irish book in March, you have completed the readathon, you have participated. Done. We do also have some prompts, which if you want to push yourself with your reading, you can definitely do these as well, and you can double up on challenges. It is completely flexible. I will leave my announcement video linked in the cards and down below in the description so you can find out full details. We will also be doing a 24-hour readathon from the 20th to the 21st of March, where you just need to try read as much within that 24-hour period as you can. Or you could just not do that. Whatever you want to do in March, I support you. Of course, I will be trying to complete all of the challenges. In fact, I normally read solely Irish books in March, so hopefully that's what I will do this year as well. If you are participating in the readathon, don't forget to use the hashtag #TheIrishReadathon. If you're talking about it on social media, I would love to see your TBRs and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, into my to be read pile. For the challenge of read a book with green on the cover, I have gone for The Woman Who Stole My Life by Marian Keyes. I started reading Marian Keyes books only a couple of years ago for this very readathon, and let me tell you, it was such a game changer for my reading. Marian Keyes was the author that made me realise that I love a bit of romance in books, that I love commercial fiction aimed at women. Of course I do. Like, it makes so much sense, but for such a long time I had this internalised misogyny that made me think Marian Keyes books weren't for me, and they are so for me. I don't even need to know what this book is about, and I don't know what it's about. But I know that Marian Keyes books are focused on women who are normally at a kind of turning point in their life. There is focus on friendships and romance. They're really about relationships in all their different forms and the complications that there can be in those relationships. And alongside a bit of drama and intrigue, Marian superbly and subtly weaves in really important topics for discussion. I feel so fortunate that having discovered Marian Keyes when I'm a little bit older in my reading life means I have this huge backlist to read. If you are a Marian Keyes reader, I would love you to leave me a comment down below and let me know what your favourite Marian book is. This year for the readathon we have a group read, and that is The Henna Wars by Adiba Jagadar. This is a young adult novel that follows an FF romance between Nishat and Flavia. Nishat has recently come out to her family as a lesbian, and I think this book has a lot to do with her family's reaction to that, and this book also has a lot to do with the nuances between what is cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. This is the kind of book that we absolutely need in Irish writing, and I am so excited to read this, and I feel so confident going into it that I'm gonna absolutely love it. Myself and Aoife and Elaine are all hosting giveaways for this book. If you head on over to Elaine's Instagram, you can enter her giveaway. If you go to Aoife's announcement video, you can enter hers. And if you go to my Twitter page, you can enter mine. All of the links will be down below in the description. And this giveaway is Ireland only because we are really keen to get this book into Irish readers' hands, and also Brexit and COVID makes it difficult to mail them anywhere else. For the next challenge to read a non-fiction book, I am reading On Shut by Una Min Kavanagh. This is the author's memoir of her life growing up and her experiences of racial abuse in Ireland. In 2013, she was spat at in Dublin city centre and was racially abused. In 1991, Una Min was adopted from Vietnam by a single Irish woman, and she was raised in Kerry. Racism is something that we don't talk about enough in Ireland. Like, we definitely don't. It is definitely swept under the rug, and we consider ourselves this really welcoming country. But there are huge problems with racism in Ireland, and I think it's really important that we listen to people about their experiences of this in the country. So this is a really important one. The next challenge is to read a new to you author. I realised this when looking at my shelves that most of my Irish books were by authors that I had read before, but I have never read anything by Anne Griffin, and this is When All Is Said. This is a book that I have heard phenomenal reviews about. It is the story of 84-year-old Maurice Hannigan as he tells his own life story to a group of people in the pub. Over the course of the evening, he makes 5 toasts to 5 people who have impacted his life in some way. As I said, I have heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm really excited for it. The next challenge is to read a BIPOC book or an LGBTQIA plus book. This can be either in the author or in the representation in the characters. And I am going to be reading If Only by Melanie Murphy. Melanie Murphy is quite well known for being a vlogger. She talks a lot about experiences of sexuality, about her experiences of motherhood. She is an openly bisexual woman, and as a bi woman myself, I would love to read more books that are written by bi women. This is about a young woman who receives a precious family heirloom that I believe enables her to see how different scenarios in her life would have played out differently if she had made a different decision. I love books that play with that kind of idea, so very excited for this one. And the final challenge is to read a book that features mythology or folklore. For this, I'm going to be reading All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. I would basically read anything that this author writes. I don't need to know what it's about, and I know I'm going to want to read it. I read 2 of her books last year and loved them both. This is a young adult novel that features witchy things and tarot things. I don't know if it actually references Irish mythology and folklore specifically, but I think that witchy element and it being by an Irish author is enough. There are a few more books that I could get round to reading during the month, and I also have some audiobooks and e-arcs that I may get round to reading. So I'm very quickly just going to go through these physical ones. So I have The Importance of Being Aisling and Once, Twice and Three Times an Aisling. These are the second and third books in the Aisling series. I read the first book a couple of years ago now, and I thought it was a lot of fun. It wasn't an absolute favourite for me, but it was one that brought me a lot of joy. And these are books that are basically about a kind of typical young Irish woman navigating her life in terms of her friendship, romantic relationships and career. I also have A Keeper by Graham Norton. His books are kind of like cozy crime. I read Holding last year and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I'm still really intrigued to read more of Graham Norton's writing. He is one of those, I think, celebrity authors that is just a fantastic author, and I believe this one is about a woman coming back to her family home after her mother has passed away. I also have a collection of short stories. This is Being Various, which is edited by Lucy Caldwell. There are a lot of authors in here that I've read things from before, like Louise O'Neill, Wendy Erskine, Malatu Uche Corey, Kit DeWall, Belinda McKeown, Emer McBride, Nicole Flattery, Sally Rooney, Sinead Gleeson, Lisa McInerney. But there are also some authors on here that I've never read anything from before, like Lan G, like Danielle McLaughlin, Adrian McGinty, Arja Kajirmo, Stuart Neville, David Hayden, lots of authors that I haven't read from before, and I think this will be a great way for me to potentially discover some authors that I could read, perhaps not this month for the Irish Readathon, but in the future and maybe in next year's Readathon. And finally, The Little Red Chairs by Edna O'Brien. I have read a couple of her books before, but this one has been sat on my TBR for a little while and I would really like to get to it. This is about a faith healer that arrives to a village in the west coast of Ireland and kind of puts everyone in this little rural community under his spell. But one woman in particular may face fatal consequences because of how she has become enthralled by this man. So there we have it. That is my TBR. As I said, I may listen to some audiobooks, get some books out of my library. I have some e-arcs that I should be getting around to reading. We will see where the month takes us. I definitely will be prioritising the books that fulfill the challenges. If you are participating in the readathon, be sure to let me know in the comments down below and let me know what you're most excited to read. Are you taking part in our group read of the Henna Wars? All of the information you need for all of the things to do with this readathon will be down below in the description, and if you want to find out more about any of the books I've spoken about on this video, they will be linked as well. If you don't have anything in particular to say, make sure to leave me your favourite Irish emoji. Let's go for the green heart. Let's go for the green heart today. I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, and I look forward to seeing what you are reading in March.